Hey there, adventurers, and welcome back to another epic Baldur's Gate 3 build guide. Today, we're diving deep into the divine and dastardly world of Shadowheart, the War Cleric. Get ready for some divine punishment. But before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of our Baldur's Gate 3 content. It's been a couple weeks, but we're back at it again. In fact, this build was requested by a subscriber. And if you have any build requests or things you want to dive into for BG3, hit me up in the comments below. So let's get started, and started with the leveling specifically. Now, Shadowheart's strengths lie in her wisdom and constitution, so make sure to give those stats a boost. She is a war cleric after all, so you want to be as tough as nails. You will want to focus on strength as well for our melee stat for damage. The leveling strategy is simple for this one. You respect Shadowheart when you meet her, somewhere in the level 2 to 3 range of the game, most likely. And you're going to respect her to a War Cleric at that point. Now, the first 5 levels, you're going to take War Cleric, and this is in order to get Spirit Guardians up and running ASAP. We're going to take a 1-level dip into a caster class. I picked Sorcerer for this, but you can also pick Wizard if you prefer. We're doing this for the shield spell to keep us protected. Wizard is arguably the stronger pick, which allows you to, as of this time at least, describe and learn any spells up to level 6 that will complete your repertoire of spell selections and will balance out your spells nicely. I like to avoid it, but it is definitely a good pick. Now, the rest of your leveling is going to focus right back into Cleric for those higher level spells, additional feats, and this will be very straightforward. You're going to take War Cleric the rest of the way, all the way to level 12. This makes leveling rather easy. Let's talk a little bit about the tactics and spells you'll be using. Shadowheart is all about bashing heads and healing wounds. So spells like Spirit Guardians for offense and Healing Word for healing are essential. She is the cleric you call when you need divine intervention at Grid Tavern Brawl. Speaking of, you can use your divine intervention to get a nice one-hander mace as soon as level 11 with this build. Now, as far as tactics, if you picked up AoE spells or summon spells like the Summon Planner Ally later in the game, you can use those in larger battles where it's important to weaken as many enemies as possible. You want to cast your Spirit Guardians and run around like a mad woman to get as many enemies in your holy aura as possible. For weapons, pick your favorite style, a two-hander for big hits, or a sword and board for a defensive route. This build is very flexible. In fact, if you go the defensive style, go ahead and reduce your strength a little bit to boost up your wisdom if you want to focus more on spells. Now, as far as gear choices are concerned, you really want to focus on heavy armor and a nice two-hander or a mace and shield style, whichever you prefer. You really are going to equip the best weapons and armor that you find throughout your playthrough. I don't want to deep dive into very specific things you can find throughout the game because this build essentially will function with bare minimum equipment and will only get better with more things that you find. So there you have it, folks, the ultimate Shadowheart War Cleric. Divine puns and divine damage, what more could you ask for? So thank you very much for tuning in for another build guide. This is going to be a part 1 of 2. I have a bonus one ready to go soon after this. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a divine thumbs up and share it with your fellow adventurers. And remember, if you have any suggestions or want to see more Baldur's Gate 3 content, leave a divine comment down below. Until next time, may your crits be epic, your loot be legendary, and your Baldur's Gate 3 journey be filled with divine adventures. This is Tab the Legend, signing off.